Hi again, welcome to Implementing CSS chapter, and we are in the course HTML2, and we are now discussing fundamentals of CSS. We are now talking about how to style a plain and simple HTML and to embellish it to make it look much better. And there are many ways of implementing CSS, but in this course I'm going to limit to 4 methods. Okay, and before I start explaining how to integrate CSS in your web page, I would like to show you what a typical CSS page looks like. Okay, you can see here these 3 dots here. These are for slideshow. We're going to do that later on in this course. And we have more options here. We have 3 columns created, and we have buttons, and the way everything is displayed is so professional and clean. Notice I'm just showing you a template. This is just a template that I'm sharing with you, and there are many examples here. Alright, so this was one of the examples, and there are many other examples. For example, you can just pick any and check out the live demo just to get an idea of what you're looking at. Okay, and this is all styling done. Basic HTML is present, but it has been styled using the CSS languages. All these image sliders, buttons, the way these buttons are beveled and have a shade behind them, the 20% 20 in red. This is a specific inline CSS. And there are many other evidences of CSS embedded explicitly or applied to the entire page. We can see that. And there's this catalog created and the way it is represented, and all of these icons here, pictures here, buttons here. So I'm just trying to help you appreciate what you can do with the CSS language. Okay, let's open up our notepad here. Okay, and let's try to, okay, I'm just going to make this a little bit broad here. Yes, all right, works fine with me. All right, and just open up a notepad and just save the notepad as implementing examples of CSS. We're not going to run this code because this is just a demonstration of where in your HTML file, HTML code, the CSS will be implemented. Okay, there are 4 ways of implementing CSS. Okay, I'm going to start writing this down. 4 ways to implement CSS in your HTML code. Okay, all right, there are 4 ways of doing it. The first way is declare inline. Second is embed the CSS code into the head of the document, and you can also link to an external file. And the last one is you can import a CSS file. This is very famous, the last one. Okay, and I'm just going to show you step by step how each is done. Inline, embed, link to an external file, and import a CSS file. Okay, how do you do an inline CSS? Okay, style sheet information is applied to the current element. For example, inline means, my dear students, inline simply means integrating the style within an element. Element could be a paragraph. Okay, it could be a heading. It could be a table. Okay, it could be any other element. It could be the head, or it could be the body. Okay, it could be a section or an element. So instead of defining the style once, then applying the style against all instances of an element, say p tag. Remember, I said in the previous examples, I showed you that when you want to write a CSS code, you would just write it within the head section, within the head tag. Open the head tag and close the head tag. So you're going to write the CSS code within the head section, and within the body you're going to write the HTML code, and you're going to keep calling, keep referencing the CSS code so that it's instantiated. It is recreated again and again wherever or whichever element needs it. Okay, instead of doing that, you could explicitly get inside the element tag, okay, and just type away the style. For example, let's just delete all of this and work on the paragraph. For example, you have a paragraph tag here, okay. Within the paragraph tag, you will write style, and you've done this many times. You have done this in the previous course as well. Style is equal to color double colon and the color code FF9900 inverted commas closed, okay, and then just write CSS tutorial. Okay, I can try to run this for you if you want. Okay, but what I need to do is I need to write the head and the body and the text, or a head, body, and the title tag, all of these things, HTML tag. I'll have to write all of that. Okay, but just to let you give you an idea, this P will go within the body tag. Okay, and within the body tag, within the P tag itself, you will write style is equal to, and this would be displayed as an orange color, CSS tutorial. Okay, you can try that. You can create a skeleton file like we used to create and just add this line of text, and you should be able to see an orange color. Okay, next example is embedded CSS. We're going to do plenty of examples in the future. I'm just giving you a heads up on the different types of implementing CSS within the HTML code. Alright, you embed CSS information into an HTML document using a style element. Okay, and you do this by embedding the CSS information within the style tag. Okay, alright, here this style is the property of the paragraph element. This is not the style tag. Did we open and close the style tag here? No. This is the style property of the paragraph element. In this example, I'm going to show you how to open up a style tag like this. Within the style tag, call this type property, okay, and write text /CSS. Okay, and media is equal to, I know this is not making a lot of sense right now, but remember we are just demonstrating the ways in which you can integrate your CSS code within your HTML file. Okay, P curly bracket open, and the same thing goes here within the curly bracket, color. Okay, I just Control C and Control V it, and curly bracket close, and then close the style. Awesome, great. Okay, and the next one, okay, what happens here is, let me try to explain this, what's happening here. Okay, now whenever any of these elements are used within the body of the document, they will be formatted as instructed in the above style sheet. So this is the style sheet. So whenever P is declared in the document, it will be represented as orange in color. Okay, and the type of style is text /CSS. Okay, this is embedding a CSS file, embedding CSS information into the HTML document. Okay, when we use these different strategies of embedding CSS in your HTML code, this will get the logic behind it, or the impact behind it, impact resulted from it would get even more clearer. Okay, just hang in there and be patient. Let's do the next strategy of embedding CSS. Okay, an external style sheet is a separate file, okay, where you can declare all the styles that you want to use throughout your website. So what you want to do is, when you link the external file with your current existing HTML page, okay, and you only link it in one page, okay. For example, supposing you have a file like this, okay, an external file with the following style sheet: p curly bracket open, font, family, double colon, Georgia, okay. Second choice is serif, then font size X small, that's the size of the font, and curly bracket close, and H1, the style defined for H1 is color, okay, color number, let's say 00099, okay, and semicolon and curly bracket close. You need to save this file. For example, you just added these lines and you need to save this file as, you know, any file. For example, you save it as external.css. You have to save it as .css, okay. And then in the other file, or in the main file, or the file that you're working, going to call this file, you're going to call the external.css file like this. Link, remember relative link in HTML we did in the previous course? Well, it comes handy again. Style sheet href is equal to external underscore, okay, if its name is external underscore style, okay, external underscore style dot css. Type is equal to text CSS. This is the type of the CSS file. We're going to talk more about it later, okay. So this is an external, okay, oops, this is a way to reference an external file within a existing file, okay. And the last example that I have here is imported CSS, okay. You can use this sign here, this expression, add import, okay. This is the add import rule to import rules from other style sheets, okay. To be very honest, students, you wouldn't be creating any style sheets yourself. When you work professionally in an environment where you're styling sheets, there are plenty of ready-made style sheets available for your use. All you need to do is just call them or reference them within your existing file, and this makes coding even more simpler. Can you imagine the benefits of a CSS reusable files? So that's a very good example of object-oriented programming, okay. And how do you do this? How do you import CSS? Okay, you just need to add within the head tag, okay, within the head tag you add this rule at import imported, this is maybe this is the name of the file, imported underscore style, okay, dot css. Maybe this is the name of the file, we're just making up the name of the file, okay. And you can also add another line, import URL bracket open imported underscore style dot css. This is another way of doing it. The two ways of doing it, both work, both are read by the browser. That's it. And these are basically the four ways: inline CSS, embedded CSS, external CSS, and imported CSS. You need to understand each and every one of these methods, these four methods, because I'll be playing with them in the future videos. I'll be reminding you that we are now about to call a CSS file, import it, or we're going to link it from an external file. Okay, I'm going to try to explain what is the meaning of import and what is the meaning of linking with the external file when we do examples related to them in the future. Okay, and I'm going to also give you plenty of inline CSS examples, and also I'm going to give you plenty of embedding CSS examples, and you're going to really enjoy this because you will realize that once you have access to the ready-made CSS files, you won't need to create your own CSS style sheets from scratch. Sometimes you may need to, because depending on the requirements of your website, but a lot has been done already, and all you need to do is just understand the code, the correct syntax to be able to call these files for your to put them into good use for your own website. Alright, then, this was all about implementing CSS, and up next I would like to talk about CSS classes. Okay, and just try to go through the previous videos before you begin the next video. And once I begin the classes, I will be explaining the object-oriented concept behind CSS files, the reusability, instantiation, and the capability to call files from other files and to be able to use them within your own file. Alright, till then, take care and have fun. Bye bye.